situation. Are we going to be unscathed in terms of our economy when it comes to these wildfires? Well, for that, we're going to go to Paul Walsh, our business expert. Paul, good morning to you. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. And right out of the gate, I have to ask you, how big is the economic impact going to be with these fires?
Well, of course, Reynolds, it's too early to really have a specific number here, but I can say that the impact is going to be massive. Just a bit of color. I actually am from that area. I'm from Sonoma County, and by pure coincidence, I was in San Francisco. I arrived Sunday night and woke up Monday morning to this horror. By the time I left on Tuesday, the hotel in San Francisco was filling up with people that were displaced from the fire, and actually people were on the plane Tuesday afternoon flying to Chicago, some folks basically, heading to relatives' home. So the impact just in terms of lives there are significant. In terms of numbers, the very first numbers that I've seen, which come from a really reliable source called Risk Management Solutions, which is a catastrophe modeler, is that we're looking at about $6 billion of damage estimate, plus or minus. Again, very, very early, but it really speaks to the devastation and the relatively, compared to Harvey, small area, but the complete devastation where that impact was.
Well, Paul, what are the big drivers of this? What were the big catalysts that made a lot of this happen?
Well, for one thing, there's a lot of people living in this area, a lot of fairly well-to-do people. But from a weather perspective, it was really a combination of things. It was almost a climate disaster in that we had years and years of drought, followed by a lot of rain last year, which generated a lot of overgrowth, a hot, dry summer, an offshore flow, and a spark. And that led to this overnight disaster that caused billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, Paul, you just told us that you're kind of a local guy here. As a kid, I was in San Ramon, also lived in San Luis Obispo, and I think of all these great houses that we have in these hills. As we move forward in the future, will this event change how and where homes are built in this region?
It's funny, Reynolds. On my notes here for myself, I've got two comments there. One is probably, two is hopefully. Because even with Harvey, we're seeing that where we build houses and how we build houses is creating an additional risk factor. And I think coming out of this year, with all the events that we've had, we're going to see a profound change in the way we build and where we build. And that's going to affect all of us for a long time. But it really goes back to the fact that we're going to need to be more resilient in the face of both increasing population and increasing risks from these kind of events.
Paul Walsh, I've always said it, you are the man who always can make the complex understandable, and sure enough, you did it again. Thanks so much for your time, Paul. I know we'll be speaking soon. Jackie, it is still staggering to just